Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Hope everybody's off to a good start today. I'm solo for the moment, but I know Charlie's bipping around here, so she might be grabbing some comics. Um, we had a sleepover last night, so Kate and one of her homies slept over, and so they are out. They were up a little late, kind of like me and the Old Wolf Channel Hangout crew, which I know some of them are in the chat. So, not sure if we're going to get any teenagers on the program this morning, but I think Charlie will probably bip in here at some point, especially considering her bagel is now ready. Blueberry bagel with cream cheese all done. She's got some goodies. Well, let's say hello to whoever is in the chat. Who do we got? Tailgating as always. I'm sure the Ariel Red. Good morning. And the Simon R. Good morning. How you guys doing? Michael saying, watching while getting in a workout. There you go. So I got up this morning, realized that the girls didn't have enough bagels for the sleepover people. So I actually jogged over to the grocery store and got the bagels. So I got a little cardio in this morning. I gotta do my diamond push-ups and stuff this morning for sure. Lasso is here. He says, the Kate and Charlie show. The Kate and Charlie show. Grab your bagels for the Kate and Charlie show. There you go. Theme song written. Done. Let's see here. See, I definitely couldn't hang with you guys. Don't think I always forget to charge my phone. Hey, that's a smart out if you can do it. I'm using my library voice, which is funny because I do have a library book here that I'm going to review right off the bat. We hit the library for sure. Predictable now. Yeah, I think you forgot the T. Predictable, I think. Yeah. Gray Man. I'm having a little cuppa this morning. This is my tea this morning. So cheers to you, good sir, in England. JP is here. What is going on? I'll be playing some D&D with JP tomorrow night. Good to see you, sir. Hey, Tricky Trapster is here. What's going on? How are you? Oh, yeah. So it was a late night. I had the unboxing show, and then I went over and joined Old Wolf. If you missed his, I think he did a 3-hour late night drinking show. That was quite something. Sorry, I got the great bedhead / sweaty head from running to the grocery store. So I got a little bit of everything going this morning. Sheena's in the chat. What's up, HK? I hope you're having a nice morning. Catton is here. Good morning to you, sir. Ahoy to you. So yeah, I thought everybody told me that as hard as I was on Deceased and all the stories that I didn't like or the little moments that I didn't like, everybody was like, yeah, but you didn't read Unkillables, and that was the good one. So I got a hardcover from the library, and I read that yesterday and today. So now I've read the entire saga of Deceased in its entirety. Good morning, Super Russ. John, were you like me and stayed up late but still got your workout? I mean, I didn't jog nearly very far. I mean, I jogged, like 5 blocks to the grocery store and back. It wasn't like I was putting in an intense workout. So I'm not going to claim that I got my whole exercise for the day. I need to do my garage gym workout with Charlie, and I need to probably hit the rowing machine if I really want to get intense about it. We'll see how far I go. But I will agree with everybody that the Unkillables volume of Deceased is the tightest and most cohesive and least frustrating of the Deceased line. So I did enjoy it probably the most as a single volume. I think the artwork was pretty solid overall. This is Carl Mostert. But I think the truth is Tom Taylor just likes the misfit characters. and he was able to do a lot of fun things with Deathstroke and Bane. And is it Mr. Mirror? I had never heard of this character before. Mr. Mirror, is that what they call him? I can't remember the guy. So it's this like orange and green looking guy who is able to transport through mirrors. I'd never heard of this superhero. Mirror Master. I just found it finally. Never heard of him. Mirror Master. There it is. Thank you guys. I had never heard of that character. So he was very new to me. And it was kind of he has a cool power set for something like this. It was a cool way to use him. Miss So, good morning. She said, been finding some great stuff to read online through the library lately too. There you go. There you go. They're here, Mars, and Charlie was out here reading, and then she went down the hall for something, and I haven't seen her in a little bit. Why would you do that to yourself, John? I mean, when I have an opinion on something, I want to be able to back it up. And so I had read Deceased, and I felt like I was pretty hard on the first volume of Deceased. Then I read there was like a second volume and then a Dead Planet volume, and I was good about reading all of it because I'm really not happy with it, and it's what tainted my enjoyment of Tom Taylor as a writer. I was disinterested in reading anything by Tom Taylor because of Deceased, and I don't think it's fair because it's not really an accurate portrayal of what his talent is. What is up, Ignacio? Guten Morgen. Buenos dias. How we doing? Did I miss anybody else? Oh, I missed Rod. Where are you at, my man? He jumped by me there. What is up, Rod? How are you doing? Yeah, it is Mirror Master. So now I know that guy. He's a Flash villain. I did not know that. He's a cool character. There you go. Look, see, the chat knows. The chat knows what's up. We are Legion. Good morning. I was just complimenting one DC book by kind of burning another one. And so I'm sorry about that. I think I got everybody. Let's see here. Deceased gets better in each volume. Unkillables was probably the title. That's literally what I was saying. Yeah. And so I because I was being so hard on Tom Taylor, I felt like I owed it to him to read his other stuff in Deceased and get a better view of it. I just think what bothers me about volume 1 and some of the later volumes is he's trying to make a horror movie as a comic book. And when you do that, you have one of the tropes of horror movies is people do stupid things. That's like a horror movie thing. There's those sidekick, side hero characters who do stupid stuff, like opening the door and not looking while they're opening it or whatever. And like, oh my God, the killer's right there. Stuff like that. And that, while it works in a horror movie where you're like, that guy's just stupid. He's going to die. I don't care. It's different in a comic where you're like, I like Hal Jordan. Why would you treat him like that? I like Cyborg. Why would you treat him like that? He's not an idiot. She's not an idiot. So then when you have those characters you love doing the stupid thing, you're like, okay, well, you're kind of burning my guy or my girl now. So that kind of bums me out. So that was why I was kind of hard on him. I think he follows the tropes a little too hard sometimes, and it bugs me. I really enjoy Taylor, but can't admit not everything is great. Yeah, I mean, obviously no writer hits every time, but it was such a shocking miss for me. That first Deceased was such a shocking miss, right? You missed me, but I'm not sad. I got you now, Ian. I got you now. And I didn't miss Bob either from Everything Comics. Thank you for coming by, Bob. I hope you're doing well. And I have found love for Tom Taylor outside of Deceased. If I could erase Deceased, I would probably rank Tom Taylor a lot higher in my esteem. Obviously, the Superman and Nightwing runs he's doing now. The all-new Wolverine run is still my favorite thing that he's done. I really do love it. Never read his Earth 2 run, so apparently I need to read that one. But I have read a fair amount of his other stuff. Yes, so I decided to decorate with a little Electra today because Simple Simon sent me a gift. I won a prize from him, and it was this Electra slab that I unboxed on his show yesterday. And I thought, you know what? I only have a few Daredevil slabs, and they're like almost all exclusively Electra related. So I was like, well, I'll just do an Electra thing. And I found some fun Electra covers that I love. And I even used this one to make a thumbnail. Electra covers are just so awesome. I love the way they use negative space. Like here, this one is her sigh, but she's like swimming underwater. So it's like the rocks where she's swimming. Like that's just awesome. That kind of stuff I really dig. I dig that artwork style, no sure. No writer hits every time. Tynan's Batman is living proof. Hey, there you go. Good morning, brother. Red, his X-Men Red. If you're Jean Grey, you know what, JP, you keep telling me I got to read that one, so I do need to get around to that. Oh, he did a Suicide Squad run. I did not know that. There's one I recently read through library called Satania. Don't let the title fool you. It's an endearing story with a heartwarming end and lovely art. It's an indie book. Nice. I'll look for that, Miss So. I don't know. I can hear Charlie bipping around, and she was out here, and then she left. I'm hesitant to scream and call for her because Kate had her friend sleep over, and they're still out like a light. So I'm kind of just waiting for them to bip back into the room. We'll see if they make an appearance. Super Russ, I'm not sure if I said hi to you, but I think I did. Good morning to you. Congrats to you're the one guy who, like me, has hit 1,000 like 4 or 5 times, and I'm right there with you. You hit 1K and then you go back. You know, Chet, I can probably load it and read them off, but I have a similar problem happening right now, where I'm just scared CGC has all of my money. So 2 of my 3 submissions have been marked as scheduled for grading or received. I don't know how you qualify it, but I got some bangers in there. I do think I've only got one specific X title, so you're probably going to be bummed about that. But I have, besides Giant Size X-Men, I got NYX number 3, which is a pretty big X-Men related book. And then Hulk 180. Those are the 3 mutant related books, and they're all sitting there. And now they're at CGC. Los, good morning, man. You're already making lunch. Well, hey, it's almost noon there, so I get it. What run did Bob mention? He's always telling me to read good stuff. I think he mentioned the Anacenti, which I realize I've actually read a chunk of that Anacenti run. So he's saying that Suicide Squad one. Okay, there you go. Charlie ditching you this morning got more important. I was hoping to talk about Alfred Hitchcock movies with her, because now Charlie has seen 2.5, because we didn't finish North by Northwest. She has seen 2.5 Hitchcock movies. And I was curious to see, because she loves old movies. So there you go. Then you have another 30-day wait, likely. I figured, right? NYX, Hulk 180, and Giant Size. That's some big stuff. First appearance of Wolverine, first appearance of all new Wolverine, and first Wolverine on the X-Men. I guess that's it. If John is up and the girls aren't, they must have been on a crazier stream last night. Well, it's possible. Let's see here. So here's what I was hoping to mention. What are some of your favorite Alfred Hitchcock movies? He's probably my favorite classic director. I would put my favorite filmmakers are, like, I love Francis Ford Coppola and I love Hitchcock. Those are like 2 of my all-time favorite filmmakers. I'm also a big Steven Soderbergh fan. So I want to hear what some of your favorites are. If you have Amazon Prime, they have a bunch of them on there for free. And if you have HBO Max, they have the Turner Classic Movies, and they have some of them in there as well. So I'd love to hear some of your favorite Hitchcock movies, because I'm an avid fan, and I've seen most, if not all, of his movies. Then you are a lucky man. And I feel like his movies hold up really well because they are set in the era when he shot them. You can just view it as like a period piece. You can watch a movie like Psycho or Rear Window, and I think they hold up beautifully compared to some other filmmakers whose movies maybe don't hold up the same. So let's scroll back up here. I heard some people right off the bat. Wasn't Charlie also reading some old Wonder Woman? I mean, she likes old. She's an old soul, Charlie. You know, my oldest, Kate, likes more modern kind of stuff, and will read indies and like stories where characters have cell phones and things. Charlie reads Nancy Drew. She likes Hardy Boys, Archie and his gang, any of the Archie universe era kind of stuff. So yeah, she likes that older stuff for sure. And this is one of the ones I watched with Charlie, and is probably my favorite Hitchcock movie. I think it's hard. There's so many good ones, but this one is almost always one or number two for me. I think it's just such an inventive concept, and it's so well executed, and you get sweaty in certain, like you get heart palpitations and nervous, like tense sweatness. I don't think that's a word when you watch that movie. This is a great one and is a lot sillier than his other stuff. So we're in the middle of watching this one, and Charlie thinks it's hilarious how like poor Cary Grant gets deeper and deeper into like, I'm not Mr. Kaplan. Why do you think I'm Mr. Kaplan? But everything he does just encourages this concept that, no, you're Kaplan now. Like, you've just become this other person. Very entertaining. This is the other one that kind of goes back and forth with Rear Window for me as my favorite. But it depends on my mood, because this one is such a downer, and Rear Window is more positive. So it's like, if I'm in a good mood, it's Rear Window. If I'm in a bad mood, it's probably Vertigo. Birds. Ooh, he's a Birds fan. See, I've never been a huge Birds fan. Maybe I haven't rewatched that one in a really long time, but it always felt like one of his cheaper movies for me. I just couldn't get into it. I didn't have the same love for it. Vertigo, there it is. Sleepy Reader with the Vertigo. Sad Vision, yeah. Oh, C. Wood, what is going on, my man? Ariel says Rear Window, right? I mean, it's so timeless that you've seen, like, The Simpsons did a Rear Window episode where Bart thought his neighbor was killed. You know, it's like TV shows have done their iterations of Rear Window. It's just such a popular style. I don't know if he did Room with a View, actually. I know he did The Strangers on a Train, and he did Dial M for Murder, which is one of my favorites. I love Dial M for Murder. Rear Window. I know Vertigo is yours. I mean, it's all based on mood, right? All based on mood. Oop, I lost the chat there. Hitchcock was born where I live. Oh, really? East London. There you go. Rear Window. Always loved Rear Window, and the glimpse we get at everyone's stories, right? Just through that little prism of a window. What do you get? He did. He did Over the Top. I remember that. He did that. About to Get in Trouble. Don't think I have ever seen a single Hitchcock movie. Well, now you're going to have a list of ones you can watch. Was never much of a Hitchcock fan, but Psycho was good. I mean, Psycho, what a really tightly wound movie that is structured in a very unusual way, because usually the huge leading actress lady doesn't die in the first like quarter of the movie. That's a shocking twist. And then to have the rest of the movie spin out of that moment. Very clever. This is an underrated Hitchcock movie, and I was very excited to see Perry do a review and watch of Rope. Such a good movie, and all done as like, it was designed to look like one long take. So he, whenever they needed to cut, the camera would go behind somebody's back, and then it would come out the other side as a new take, right? The movie only had like 7 to 10 edits, right? They would just go for a little while and the camera would go behind somebody and they would cut to a new thing. Always a really good one. Psycho. There you go, Bob. Dial M for Murder. And it's been remade several times. Viggo Mortensen and Michael Douglas and Gwyneth Paltrow remade it as A Perfect Murder not too long ago, 10 or 20 years ago. Birds, okay. English teacher in high school showed us Rear Window. Ooh, that's a good English teacher. Dial M, Strangers on a Train. Carlito, we are talking about some good Hitchcock movies. Strangers on a Train is a great one. Yeah, Psycho is hard. It's a hard one to watch. After this broadcast, you're working out, John, right? Right. I did a little jogging this morning. Not a whole lot of good stuff. Let's see here. I feel like I'm going way slow. I'm never this slow in the chat. What is happening? Vertigo, Rear Window, and Psycho. Birds, the original Sci-Fi Channel killer animal movie. Yeah. We visited Bodega Bay and then saw where they, high anxiety. This is a great comment because clearly Gray Man knows Mel Brooks did an amazing spoof of these movies. The Mel Brooks spoof of Hitchcock, High Anxiety, very funny. Pop, I can't help you with that. Charlie was out here and I made her bagel and then she vanished on me. I don't know she left me high and dry. Rope is a great one. I'm glad to hear some love for that. Watch a movie where a man kills his wife and buries body parts in the flower bed always puts me in a good mood. I mean, right? It's worth diving into Hitchcock's. There are so many good ones. Yes, Sleepy Reader, my man. It's a very slow movie, but then the violence comes out of nowhere and you're kind of left shocked, right? Perfect Murder is based, it's the same kind of concept. It's a modernization of that story, but yeah, totally. And nobody's mentioned the Cary Grant one that they used it to Mission Impossible 2 is basically a remake of a Hitchcock movie, and I've lost the name of it right now. In it, there's like spies and I can't remember the lady. Oh, now my brain is just gone. John refused to read my comment. I'm trying to catch up here, man. I'm trying to catch up. I saw you say Lasso and Old Wolf and LOL. And that are you calling JP uncivilized? Is that what it was? JP is very uncivilized. I said it out loud. Never seen Rope. It's a really cool one. Rebecca. I forgot about Rebecca. To Catch a Thief is the one I watched with Charlie. We watched To Catch a Thief, and she really liked that one because that was a very silly one. It's a much lighter one. The Lady Vanishes and The 39 Steps is a classic. Notorious. Boom. That's the one I was looking for. Notorious. So if you've seen Mission Impossible 2, firstly, I'm sorry because it's not a good movie. It's easily the worst of the Mission Impossible movies. Not a good movie. But it's a remake of Notorious. It's basically the story Notorious, but you put a whole, you put a whole new slew of characters and actors in it, and there's a deadly virus thrown in. But it is a legitimate remake of Notorious. The plot is like straight out of Notorious. Mastodon, what is going on? Yeah, you got me to say it twice. Yeah. We're talking about Hitchcock movies, right? I'm a big fan of the ones he did with Cary Grant, and everybody has their favorite. I'm a more of a James Stewart guy, but I like them all. Like Charlie and I spent yesterday kind of watching a couple of them. It was a very fun way to kind of do. I mean, she loves throwback stuff, so like old movies are like her jam, right? She's been enjoying the original Sherlock movies with Basil Rathbone. So like she loves that kind of stuff. Okay, here goes chaos. Whenever I dive in a director or a movie, I don't know who has a long filmography. Sorry, my favorite is always everyone's 14th. Well, there you go. You go 14 down. I mean, I don't know what would be my 14th down, but there's so many good ones with Hitchcock. You're left with a ton of room, right? So there's a lot of options. But I feel like Donnie is saying, Rear Window and Vertigo tend to always be the number 1 and 2 for me. And then after that, everything else gets a little muddled. I think To Catch a Thief, I always rank pretty high just because it's a really silly and entertaining movie. And I love Grace Kelly. Like, Grace Kelly is phenomenal. So to see her on screen in a perfect role for her it's just fun, you know? Oh, and Notorious is good. I'm trying to remember the actress in Notorious, but it's gone over my head. He's done over 40 movies. So there you go. Sleepy Reader's like, there's a ton. I think he made Dial M for Murder twice. And The Man Who Knew Too Much, he made twice, if I'm not mistaken. Like he made them early in his career in England. And then when he came to make films in the US, he remade those movies again. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was both of those movies got remade. So he's done some of those movies twice. But the original Dial M for Murder is clever and powerful, and yeah, I'm a Grace Kelly fan top to bottom. So there you go. Always some good stuff there. She's just, I mean, that shot, I mean, all of his camera angles were meticulous, but that shot when James Stewart is sleeping in Rear Window and then he wakes up to her face like coming close to his to give him a kiss, and she's just kissing the camera, like she's going right into the camera, and you're like, hi Grace Kelly, yeah, sure, good morning, let's have it. I am always making theme shows for my heavy metal podcast and made a 2-parter on Hitchcock movies. Now you're talking. And yes, Ruben Guzman, I got a little electric boogaloo going on back here. Ingrid Bergman. See, I thought it was, but I couldn't remember. I in my head, I'm like, it's the lady from Casablanca. I'm like, just lost it. To be honest, I've only seen a small group of Hitchcock's movies. I mean, and a bunch of them are free right now. That's kind of my sweet spot. If I can find some movies that are really good for the girls and they're already on a streaming service like Amazon or HBO, that's where I'm at. Goodbye, Miss So. Hope you have a great weekend. So I cruise through those channels or those streaming services, and I add those things to my watch list. And then hopefully, if we'd have time that month, the girls might sit down and check it out. Carlito can be an uncivilized hillbilly as well. Everybody can have their moment of uncivilized behavior. All right. I guess I get back to comic books if you guys are done with Hitchcock. I feel like we did that a bunch. Grace Kelly, the back of your head is ridiculous. Yeah, I've got some great hair going today too. It's awesome. Read of the week for me, definitely issue 19 of Die, with whether you like the Jenny Frison variant, which is just absolutely beautiful, or of course the Stephanie Hans variant, also stunningly beautiful in the Mylar, shiny. Absolutely amazing. I am obviously a fan of that series from the beginning. It's never really been a disappointment for me. And this issue I'm not going to spoil anything. This issue it was like the culmination of a lot of story arcs. And I thought they handled huge ideas and big moments beautifully. I thought it was very effective. And I'm sad there's only one left. There's only one more. So, September brings the end of Die, and I'll wait for that nice hardcover to be released so I get all 20 issues in one hardcover. That would be great. You guys are still hilarious. Still waiting on books with shipping delays. You guys are hilarious. Back and forth. Die is slowed for me in the Bronte arc. Otherwise, it's been phenomenal. There you go. Drop and give me 20. Where's Jack? Yeah. Jack, my nephew was here last week, if you saw it, and he is a working out fiend. In fact, he's trying to get me one of those chin-up bars pull-up bars that you get for your door jamb, and I might put it in my garage just to be able to do different. It's a system with like a whole variety of pull-ups and chin-ups that you can do with it. So he's trying to encourage me to get the same model he's got on his bathroom door. Chet just wants me to power in there a little bit. Yeah, I want that hardcover too, Tacoma. I think it's going to be a great way to read the series. But I think I want to see also if they can have all the cover variants in the back. I really want to see that collection of cover art in one volume, so you can really see all the work, because the covers for this run have just been so phenomenal, and the talent of people besides Stephanie Hans doing a cover every single issue, which is also amazing. The cover artists that they've had, I think, have really been on a whole other level. So absolutely amazing. Navy SEAL designed. Oh, are they? Ooh. So I got to check the brand that my brother got for my nephew and my niece, because they use it at their place. It's the like, you got to do a few before you go in and use the bathroom, and you got to do a few before you come out. I don't know. I would put it in the garage because I think that's the best door jamb we have for it. But yeah, absolutely excited for it. I read the first trade of Die, couldn't get into it. I understand it's a hugely complicated read. In fact, I know a bunch of people the first time they read it who got confused because one of the characters is a man in real life, but a female in the game. And they got very confused by that and couldn't keep track of who was who, because the characters look very different in our world versus in the game. And they don't slow it down a lot in that first trade to kind of give you the information on who is who and what's going on. So I've reread that first trade a number of times for sure. You can take it off and put it on the floor and do incline push-ups with it. Oh man. I've also looked at those push-up boards, which basically have like two handles and then a bunch of pegs in different colors. And you basically click the bars in and you do one set of push-ups, and then you click them into another position and you can do different push-ups. And it's just a chance to work different muscles, back and arms and chest, by where you put the grips, which is good for me because I always feel like I'm putting my hands in the wrong position when I'm doing push-ups. I don't know. So I get a little off when I'm doing those exercises for sure. We got Werewolf by Lunchtime. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, if you're not a fan of role play games, that could be a disappointment. You know, that might be something that is distracting. But for me, it's just like Jumanji, right? It's no different than Jumanji. And what's more interesting about it is it's huge real world consequences and motivations instead of the silliness and lightheartedness of Jumanji. You know, I miss working out. Maybe I'll get back into it soon. Hey, there you go. Sword issues 1 through 6. 6 is phenomenal, and I liked 7 a lot as well. I think it's Al Ewing's best X title right now. I think it's really, really effective, and it's been a great way to look at the Krakoan universe from a bigger viewpoint, right? You're not so insulated with other mutants. They are interconnecting with the Avengers and the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom. And so they're connected to a bigger sort of section of Marvel than usually these usually the mutant books tend to be very insulated. So it's fun to see a book that gets them out of their comfort zone a little bit. All right, so that was my read of the week and my covers also of the week. I think Die just took all the awards for me this week, but there were a bunch of good reads, and I really want to get to my favorite DC book this week. I really enjoyed Robin this week. I thought it was a great issue that really, it's a standalone. Like, you can read this, I think, on its own. I think it does exactly what I wanted it to do, where you get to see all the other Robins trying to convince Damian not to compete in this competition. And I really thought this was well played out. It showed the mentalities of the different Robins. It showed why they could fail or succeed in convincing Damian. I thought it was really, really well done. I liked how everybody was shown in their own sort of unique way. The bit with Jason Todd trying to convince Damian and Damian tricking him, really well used. I thought that was very clever. I just think that they really showed why the Bat family is the most interesting part here, and of course, it all comes together with Dick Grayson, and that whole sequence, throwing back a little memory to the days of the Grant Morrison Batman and Robin with Dick Grayson as Batman. Really, really cool. I don't think you'll have any trouble finding this, JP. I don't think there's no spec element to this. My guess is you could probably walk into almost any comic book shop and there's going to be copies of it sitting on the shelf. And in a couple of months on eBay, you'll probably find this for $3 with shipping included. So I just thought it was a fun issue. The island was given like a back seat, and instead we got the emotional stuff I wanted. The stuff that really reminds us of what's going on with Alfred. There's a little Alfred shot there. Not ignore the Black Manta, but right there, that's Alfred. That kind of stuff I thought was really kind of beautifully done. So I think it definitely was worth the $3.99 for me. But that was the first time in a while it was worth the $3.99, to be honest. I'll get caught up on the Hickman universe here soon. With it coming to an end, it'll be easier. I mean, I think this, Donnie, and I really want to do a show on this. I just haven't had the time. I don't think the Hickman universe is ending. I think his control over it is ending. Krakoa is going to continue on. I think we're going to see a continuation of a lot of this stuff. I don't think it's all just going to end. I get the feeling it will be continuing. What is up, Mars? He said Robin was great. My absolute favorite this year was Echo Lands. Oh, what's the publisher for that, Bob? I have not heard of it. So what is the publisher on that one? Chet says he's hitting the gym. Got to go. Yeah, get that. Get it. JP just run into it. There you go. Being able to walk into a comic book shop is my issue right now. Well, there you go. No, I mean, some people legitimately think Hickman that universe is going to end and that they're just going to reboot. There's a ton of people who hate the Hickman X-Men era and are like waiting for him to be gone and to restart. And they're thinking that his exit at the end of Inferno is going to lead to the reboot of the X universe. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think we're going to see some changes. And I'm very disappointed, like Chaos is, that we will probably not get the third act of Hickman's era. We might not even get the full second act. It sounds like we're just going to get the tease of the second act and that's going to be left to other people. So in some ways you could argue that we're not even getting the full experience that Hickman wanted because he's moving on to other things. So it's a bit of a drag, but I understand what's going on. It's just, what are you going to do? And I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I don't need any of the cuts. I don't need any cuts. Echolands is an Image title. How did I miss that? All right, I may have to go and look for that. I'll have to see what I can find. It feels like the latest Star Wars trilogy. That is a painful comment to me, Ian. That hurts because those movies were something of a disaster and a mess. And I don't feel that way about Hickman's era, but I get what you're saying, that it feels like other people taking over and making decisions behind the scenes. Yeah. That's not what's happening. Writers like it so much they want to keep playing in it instead of moving forward like Hickman wants. And I get that. I get that the writers are having a good time But at some point, the story needs to move on. And Hickman has an act 2 and an act 3. I would love to see that. I don't want him to stop. I don't want to miss out on that, you know? All right, heading to work. Some people are heading out. Thanks for coming by. Does anyone know when the Green Arrow anniversary book comes out? I do not. 48, 50, 16, 23, 42. Got them all right. Got them all right. Just the changes in direction. Okay, good. Okay. Worried about that. What's up, Scott? How's Hoarders High doing today? Good to see you. So, yeah, I want to do a show with Chaos and with Jennifer and a few people discussing the Hickman news and what it's going to mean, and the trial of Magneto and kind of what's happening now and in the near future. I was hoping to do it last week, but my schedule just couldn't make it work. And yeah, so we will see if I ever even get to it. I even made a freaking thumbnail for it and was ready to go because I thought, oh, I'm just going to do this show tonight. And then nobody could make it. And I was like, I don't want to just force it and push it. I thought, let's wait till we can get everybody together. So one day I'll do that show. By then, maybe I'll wait till Hickman's actually done. I don't know. But I got the thumbnail ready either way. I got it all set. I guess disappointment of the week is probably Cable Reloaded, which I know most people just skipped. They're like, why would I, come on, why am I going to read this? I wanted Old Man Cable to come back. I was looking forward to Old Man Cable coming back. And it's Al Ewing writing it. I was like, yeah, that could be really good. Not very good. Did not enjoy this. But like all Marvel and DC issue number ones, almost all of them feel like editors are poking their fingers in everything. And then if by the time you read issues 2 and 3, they've found their footing, What is up, Wolf Warner? Good to see you. Nice that you're here, man. I appreciate that. Hickman is a macro writer. He writes big epics that are planned since the get-go. So it's sad to see this happen. But I believe that's the purpose. From what I understand, they're moving him onto these big events and keeping him off of individual titles because of that. I don't know. Super chat from Simon R. I'm sorry that I could not provide children today. They are here, and I'm hearing them in the background. But whatever. Let's see what we got for you. We'll give you dolphin laugh for sure.
Ready?
And the dog, I think maybe. It's all right. It's Saturday, Sunday. It's the weekend. It all doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the young Cable, so I was happy about that for sure. Happy to see older Cable back. Read Cable Reloaded because of Bob Quinn. He told me he drew it listening to Meshuggah, so I listened to Meshuggah, and it worked just fine. So maybe that's what I needed was the musical accompaniment. Maybe that's what I needed to make it all work was the music. I just didn't love the art style a bunch. Although there were some funny jokes referencing Rob Liefeld. There were a couple of shots fired, I think, at Rob Liefeld and pouches. And my favorite was his giant feet. And I don't know if anybody else noticed the giant feet, but it just made me laugh. At the beginning of the issue, Cable has to basically fly through space. And they give him these giant boots to make his feet look enormous. So he has giant feet, and he's flying through space. And I was like, this is hilarious. They've basically given him the super boots, and then he kicks them off so he gets his normal sized shoe back. But it felt like a complete reference to Rob Liefeld for me, like the focus on his feet, the constant focus on his feet, made me laugh. And his feet are in almost every panel, so it just made me laugh. She's so tiny, makes me think about Lila. She's not so tiny anymore, right? Yeah, I do love that those little clips of her, and I have some of Kate as well, can live a little life here on YouTube because I get to watch them every week, and you have to watch them with me. So it's been a fun way to kind of keep them fresh. Doesn't sound like I'm going to get any kids in here, so I'm probably just going to say goodbye. I don't know that I have any other big reviews to do. Nobody's talked Philadelphia in a little while. I'll finish with Philadelphia. I am really loving this comic. I think it's really, really great. And every month, it's like top of my reading pile. I think it's clever, it's brooding, it's dark, and I really, really think it's something special. If you haven't tried that first trade paperback from Image, I think it's still $9.99 trades. It's worth the time, worth checking out. If you want, I mean, it is a horror comic, so you got to be, ready for the vampire side of it. But I really am impressed by, here we are 16 issues in, still continuing to kind of blow me away with what they can do story-wise. This one had a nice focus on Thomas Jefferson, and I thought it was kind of an interesting look at his life and his legacy. Thought that was powerful. I believe there are 2 trades out, and that the third one is on its way. It's not out yet. Lately, I see most superhero books as comedies. I mean, that's fair. Let's see here. Oh, Ariel with a $10 super chat. Kiddos or no, here's a donation to the Sleepover Morning Bagel Fund. You guys are too kind, man. Let me give you something different. I'll give you, I got some little Kate ones here. This is when Kate was little. Hula dancing. Very tiny Kate. And then this is Kate's me party. Me party. A party for myself. I'm having a me party, and I need nobody else. There you go. Having that me party. Everyone needs a me party. Ignacio says, I'm going to try Philadelphia. I mean, I think you'll enjoy it. If you like a little horror comic, I think you'll find a lot of stuff you enjoy. It's a really solid vampire comic book. But beyond that, I like the comments on race relations in the U.S. I like the comments on America's history and the way we are valuing our ancestors, but also not ignoring elements of who they were. Thomas Jefferson did a ton for our country and is a huge part of our country's creation. But he was also a slave owner with some pretty drastic stories about his life as a slave owner. And that's true of most of our founding fathers. You can't throw away one part or the other. You have to understand the value of them in context of history. And I feel like they are important people to know about, and learning about them is so valuable, the history of our country. And this was a fun way to learn in a context that's powerful. I think it's a real powerful way to learn about it. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to have to give Philadelphia a try too. Pirate Ancestors with William Penn. There you go. That's cool. Is Dracula reading? I mean, actual Dracula, right? Let's see here. I mean, if you love horror, then yeah, I think you'll be way down. And the art, again, I can show you a little sample of the art style. That's one of the things I like about it. Is it's pretty gritty though, the art style. So there's a pretty graphic panel. It's a very rough, kind of unfinished style of art that I kind of think is really powerful. Let's see. I think they really do get kind of gritty, but it's also real. Like, it's empowering. Like, you see the impactful nature of the emotions of the characters and what they're going through. So the art is a huge part of what I love about it. Absolutely a nice mix between Rodney Barnes's writing and Jason Sean Alexander's artwork. I think it's just really impactful. We built this city. There you go. Whoa. Let's see. The vast majority of people back then, I mean, it's true, right? I mean, I think my wife and I love the TV series Finding Your Roots, which, if you haven't seen it, is a PBS show where famous people in all walks of life, politics, acting, music, art, they come to this show and they learn about their family's history. They track their ancestry back as far as they can through genetics and through the paper trail that is left behind. And almost every episode, you can see where slavery left its fingerprint, whether they are related to someone who owned a property and had slaves, or whether they are related to slaves. I think it's so clearly manifested, and there's a lasting legacy to that, good and bad, obviously, because we created our nation on the backs of those people, and to ignore it completely and act like they were just, the version of George Washington chopping down the cherry tree and Abraham Lincoln never told a lie. If we just remember that, we're remembering something that is basically a Dr. Seuss kind of fairy tale. Or we could learn the truth about it, or if we demonize them and say, well, they were just horrible slave owning people, they offered nothing useful to the world. Those are too polar for me. Like the real person was in the middle somewhere, and we've got to find that balance of the truth of who these people were, because it's very important, I think, to who we are now. So I really feel like Philadelphia does a good job of balancing that out. Very complicated stuff. I think, Hamilton tries to do that and balance that as well, and look at the race issues in those early days. Gilmore Girls, heck yeah. I'm a big Gilmore Girls fan, man. We have definitely watched a bunch of that. So for sure. I kept trying to get out of here, but I keep staying. Rooftop battle race. Woo-hoo. 2 pages later, death battle. Right, there you go. So I'm going to leave. I'm going to get on with my day. I got a bunch of things going on. There you go. There's the fact. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I am off of YouTube until tomorrow night for D&D. And then I think I'm off again until I'm on this guy's channel to talk fables on Tuesday. And then I think the next time I'm back on my channel, and I think it's my channel this time, is the look back show on Wednesday, looking at all the best books from August that I'm doing with White Whale Comics. So make sure that you're subscribed to me and White Whale Comics, because we will be looking at all the best comic books from August. And I think we're going to be talking about Nice House on the Lake. We're going to be talking about the end of Layla Starr. So there's lots of good stuff, lots of good things to enjoy. D&D happens on the channel Big Will Comics. And I usually put it, if you go through my community tab, I try to promote whenever I'm on somebody else's channel. So you can find the old episodes of our D&D games and then subscribe to Big Will Comics, because every Sunday night we're playing a little D&D, hanging out. Let's see here. Let's see. Ricky says, have you heard about an event in Las Vegas with all the actors and actresses? I have not. I have not heard about this. Sounds interesting. Let's see here. Las Vegas on October 3rd and 1st. I don't know it. So thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate that. I am a rogue. I will always be a rogue, or a bard. I like bards. I hope everybody has a great night, a great weekend, and I'll see you guys all here soon.